Whoa, hey there, what's going on, guys? How are you? Lucian the trainer here. I am a personal trainer. I've been training martial arts, jiu-jitsu for over 12 years, weights 15 years, and I have a local practice here where I have a full-time practice. I'm training clients full-time. My schedule is loaded down with clients, so I like to make these videos because it's beneficial for everybody, for you, for me, and hopefully you guys can get a lot out of it. And I take a lot from what I see and deal with in my own personal progress with training and with all of my clients' progress with training, and I take all of that good stuff out and I try to bring it here to you and make it as valuable as possible. So today what we're gonna do is a stretching routine. This is gonna be something, it's really important, stretching, and the older I get, I'm so old, I'm like 30, not so old, but I'm not 18. And as you continue to get older, you really do need to take care of your body and stretch and do more mobility work and all of that stuff. So really important for longevity purposes. And I've been feeling it a lot personally, and my clients have been as well. Really necessary to do. And I'll just give you a quick example. I've been loading up, doing a lot more heavy lifting, heavier training, a lot of activity. I've been working a lot, and you know, sometimes you kind of just wear yourself down. Yesterday I was sick, so we're kind of going with the flow a little bit here, a little bit more relaxed, laid back. We're gonna do some stretching, open the body up, give some TLC to the body, not have to push it and drive it always so hard. Yesterday I didn't do a single thing. I literally didn't do a thing. I was sick, laying in bed all day. So sometimes your body needs that too. Rest is super important, recovery is super important. So today we're gonna work on the stretching aspect of that. In order to keep yourself in the game and safe and protected for a long period of time, we need to help stretch and keep those muscles moving in the right way. If you're only contracting and building tension into the muscles, then they just get tense, 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 and starts pulling in on the joints. You start getting joint pain, and that overexposure to tension really can cause a lot of injuries because that muscle is real snap. It's like a fine, it's like a guitar string that's been twisted up too tight, too tight, too tight. If you pluck it too hard, bang, it'll snap. So we don't want that. That's no good, obviously. So we gotta drop that tension out a little bit more. So we're gonna do some stretching today, and we're gonna have a couple props that are gonna be relevant. If you have a yoga block, you can use a yoga block. We're actually not going to use this ball. I just like hanging out on it. You can bring some pillows if you don't have a yoga block. And if you want a weight, here, this guy is a pretty heavy weight. I like using a pretty decent sized weight. What is this? This is 28 kilos. So it's like 60 something, maybe 70 pounds, something like that. I don't remember, times 2.2, 28 times 2.2, whoever's good at math on top of their head. So I like that. We're gonna use it to help us kind of lean in, get deeper into some of those stretches. You don't need to have, if it's not that heavy, even smaller weights are good as well. So that's what you need. We're gonna be on the floor. If you have a mat, yoga mat, something like that, or a carpet, that's good to go. So without any more further ado, let's get into it. All right, hey folks, what's going on? All right, so we're gonna start out in what's called a 90-90 position, okay? That just means that we're gonna take our feet in front of us, and we're going to go 90 degrees here and 90 degrees here with that other foot behind you, okay? So it looks like an L in front and an L behind, 90 degrees in each leg, okay? So that front foot is just down, coming off to the side, and this back foot, this right foot, we're gonna start with the right foot going back. We're taking it from in front of us, bringing it to behind, and dropping that knee to the ground, okay? So this is a position where yoga block or pillows could be relevant for you, okay? So just keep them nearby. We're not gonna use them quite yet, all right? So I'm just gonna keep them here for when I do. And we're gonna start out here by going into kind of like a classic runner's stretch into the quad, okay? So we're gonna drop this foot back here, and you can, it doesn't have to be a perfect 90 degrees. We can bring that foot a little bit further back. And we're just gonna lean back on our left hand. We're focusing on this right leg, and we're going to lean into this stretch, lean through our left shoulder here, create this line of tension running through this kind of diagonal line of tension through left shoulder, left hand, down through that right leg, through the torso, right? All right, so we're lifting our hip up. That's what's going to generate some more tension here. So we're lifting our hip, so we're squeezing our glute, lifting our hip here, and we're just going to hang out here. And I want you to breathe, hang out, and settle into this, okay? We're going to keep that hip elevated for right now, okay? So it doesn't have to be 100% where you're maxing it out, but we want to kind of lift that hip up so it's not passive here. We're lifting that hip up, creating a deeper line of tension through our torso into that quad, keeping that glute slightly engaged here, hanging out about 70 to 80% in terms of stretch ability, okay? Just kind of opening it up a little bit. Okay, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do some active stretching. And what that means is we're just going to drive our foot into the ground. So we're gonna activate the quad here, okay? So what we're doing is we're getting the quad alive. We're doing it, you know, real time with the quad. It's not happening to the quad, it's happening with the quad. We're engaging the quad in this active stretch here, okay? So we're gonna drive as if I'm like kicking away. I'm kicking through like this. I'm kicking the ground. Obviously my leg is not gonna move here, okay? I'm just kicking the ground. It's that action. I'm trying to drive the ground away, and you'll see I kind of lift my hip up a little bit as well, naturally along with that motion. So I'm lifting it up. We're just gonna hold that here now, okay? So we're gonna hold that for 7 seconds, okay? And we're gonna push, push, push. We wanna activate. Now we wanna activate, okay? 3, 2, 1, release, and we're gonna go into a deeper stretch. Now you can find a deeper part of that stretch. We're gonna lift that hip up a little bit more. Now we're really gonna lean into this, all right? Breathing along the way. One of the big things about this is just learning how to settle the nervous system down and calm down. Find a time and a space to let yourself relax. I know that can be hard. Easier said than done. Good, keeping that stretch through the quad. All right, we're gonna go for another active element here. Okay, so we're going to push that ground away again, all right? I want you to try to, as you're pushing that ground away, I want you to try to feel into the whole quad, all the way from the hip flexor by the hip, okay? These tendons in here where the muscle kind of consolidates and runs into the hip, right, into the bone up here, okay? All the way down through the muscle, all the way into the insertions into the knee, okay? So we're just going to try to really focus in and activate. I'm kicking the ground away. Okay, I'm kicking, we're holding, okay? 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, really activate. 2, 1, good. Release, slowly release. Breathe and slowly find a deeper part of that stretch. If you need to come back onto that elbow, okay, on your left elbow here, you can come back onto that left elbow. All right. Very good. Oftentimes people are going to have tight quads because we sit so much, so the quads are always contracted. So they're constantly in a state of contraction. And like I mentioned briefly in the intro, as you're going through this, stretching is just so important. I've found it to be increasingly more important in my own personal process and discipline. As I mentioned, I'm training harder with heavier weights, trying to get my strength and power up a little bit more. And as a product of that is that you're creating stronger muscles, which means more tension, contraction into those muscles. And if you don't decompress those, then the top will blow off. It's like if you don't decompress, if you have a pressure cooker and you never release that steam, that tension, that pressure, eventually, something's gonna come by. It's gonna explode at some point, So same thing with your muscles. Especially if you're training hard. I have a ski trip coming up in less than 2 months, and my knee has been acting up recently because I've been using it so much. And so for me, I've actually been trying to, it's kind of hard, honestly, to tone it back because I want to keep going and pushing and pushing. Sometimes the hardest thing is just pulling it back. And trying to tone back a little bit on some of those pursuits can be quite challenging. Learning where to rein it in and where to put your energy is always a constant dance. But I have a ski trip coming up, and if I continue training super hard into my legs, into my whole body, but I'm not going to be able to ski, or if I do and I push it, I'm going to get injured when I'm skiing. I just know it. So I'm really trying to take care of these areas right now in preparation for that, because I would love to go skiing and have a great time, and I love skiing. I try to go nowadays once a year for like a week. It's always so much fun. And the most important thing is just coming back nice and healthy and safe and having a good time, So this is the focus right now. Okay, we're going to do one more active on this side, all right? So we're going to drive that ground away nice and strong. Now, what I want you to try to do here is kind of move into a different part of the quad. So we're going to try to feel into maybe more of that internal part, the groin, adductors here, okay? Or you can try to think about that outside of the quad, all right? The abductors out here on this side, all right? And just try to feel into a slightly new area of that quad, okay? So nice and gentle, nice and slow. Again, we're going to push it, but we're also going to be along this theme, going with the flow here, all right? So again, okay, pushing away. We're going to push that ground away, activating the quad. I'm trying to find personally that inside line, activating the quad. Pushing the ground, activating the quad, like you're doing a leg extension, right? Okay, in 3, 2, 1, good, release, release. And we're almost done with this quad here. Breathing. Keeping that right hip elevated. Making sure we're staying nice and good with our posture and our form. We don't want to be schlumping too much here. Collapsed back and posture, anything like that. We want to be nice and solid. We don't need to be overexposed per se, but just in a nice, good posture here. Okay. And as always, I failed to mention this early, but I always want you guys to kind of explore around and do what you need to do. And if you feel that you need to do X versus Y, or Y versus Z, go ahead. This is your video. This is for you. I'm just here as a stimulus, as a guide to help your personal, process here. So, if you feel that you need to alter things or change things, or of course, if you feel like something's injuring you, or if it's hurting you, or if there's sharp pain anywhere, we don't want to work through sharp pain. Okay, so always modify this to how you need it. All right, so we're coming out of this quad stretch. Okay, let's just move around a little bit here. Just take a moment. I'm going to shift through my hips, kind of get some blood flow back through that hip, through the quad, through the foot. Breathe. We're just shifting back and forth in our hip here. Okay, this is also good for hip mobility, those hip joints. Okay, shifting back and forth. All right. Good. Okay, so we're going to stay in this same 90-90 position, okay? So I still have this back foot down, and I still have this front foot out in front of me in this 90-degree position, all right? So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to do the same thing that I just did, I demonstrated here. And we're going to do, there's a little bit more for mobility, less for stretching. We're going to lift this back leg, okay? And we're just going to do a set of 10 of these, okay? So you're going to feel a big contraction in this glute over here, all right? And all we're looking to do is lift that back leg. We're not going to get a ton of range of motion. Like, this is not a range of motion that's going to be immense. And some of you guys might not get this much. It might just be a little bit. And that's okay. So if you need to get a pillow or something like that, blocks in front of you to kind of help you base into this, that's okay. That's cool. All right. So we're just going to do a set of 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. This is that internal rotation. So even though the foot's coming out, this leg is turning in like this, right? So we're getting this internal rotation, working in on hip mobility and muscle ability. Okay, so now that back glute might be cramping a little bit. That's okay. If you need to move it around a touch, move it around a touch, because we're actually going to be in a position now where it's going to be slightly contracted, so it might end up cramping for you a little bit. So if you need to move it around here, I'm actually going to extend mine here just for a second. You can extend yours just to stretch it out for a moment, okay? Otherwise, it will seize up on you. Okay, so let's bring it back. Okay, coming back to this 90-90. Now we're going to come over top. We're going to come over this front leg. All right, so my front leg is here in this 90-degree position, and this is a kind of variation of like a pigeon pose in yoga. Right, it's like I'm stretching through here. A pigeon would be if I had this all the way back and I was working through. Okay, but we're going to be in this modified version of this with a 90-degree in the 90-90. So we're here and we're going to drop, and what we're looking to do here is I'm looking to take my right side, my right hip, and my right oblique, and my right shoulder. Okay, this whole right side, and I want to gently, in a way that's good for me and not too much. I don't want to force anything too hard, but I want to take this side and I want to turn and face with my right side here. I want to turn and face this shin, okay? And now, when we're turned and faced, then we're going to come down. So I'm turning and facing here. I'm trying to engage my glute, that same glute we just worked. You're going to hit a little bit of a different part of the glute as you're turning over. And turning over, facing here, and now I'm going to come down. If you need a block or pillows or something like that to help you do any of this here, a little bit of grips, handholds, that's good. Okay, now I'm going to turn and drop down, and we're going to feel this in the outside part, okay, of this left leg. This is going to be on running down the quad, IT band, and up into the glute. Okay, so we're just gonna hang out here, settling in and leaning down into this. And our goal is to keep our back relatively straight. You know, you can move through this and bend over a little bit, but we don't want to be here leaning through like this. If you're not feeling this, it might be because you're not turned and faced here with your body. So if your body is facing out like this, that might be why you're not feeling it. So we want to turn this body here, take our right side and bring it over towards our left leg, and we're going to work down into that position, okay? Coming down here, nice and slow, nice and gentle. Making sure we're breathing. I love this stretch. This is so good. You can even face out as I'm doing right now towards that left side, so you can kind of take that right shoulder and kind of turn it towards that left knee here. So we're taking our face, our body, the face of our body, turning it a bit more towards that left orientation. That's where you're really going to feel that stretch up into the glute. Okay. Leaning in, we're just going to settle in here. I'm using this block to help me support here. Right? You can use your props. And sometimes it's good for people. I know in this position for me, I don't really need it in this position, but especially for a lot of men, this is really relevant. Getting a block under your hip. I use this, I put this almost always when I'm in a pigeon position. So pigeon would be where my leg comes straight back like this, okay? And I'm dropping down. If I'm in a pigeon position, I personally can't do it without a block because I really want that support to help me really properly work into that position. Over here, we don't quite need it as much, but for some people, it'll still be really relevant. So if it's really hard for you to kind of work over, this will give you a little more space. And you can also put, you know, some pillows underneath that knee to help you a little bit if you're getting some knee pain here. And that'll help create a little bit of height and help you work over through this position nice and gently here like this. Okay, so sometimes putting it under that left hip, that left glute can be really good. So I've got this block under here and to help support the knee here so we're not pulling on these tendons and ligaments too much, we can put these pillows under here, under this knee. Okay. All right, so now we're gonna stay in this position, okay? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna drive this knee into the ground or into your pillows, whatever you have under you here. So I'm gonna take this left knee, similar to what we did here, this active stretch, and I'm going to drive it down into this pillow, okay? And we're gonna hold that for 7 seconds, okay? So ready? Let's get going with it, all right? Make any micro adjustments you need, and we're driving it down. You should feel it in the outside of that leg and the glute, okay? Driving it down, good. Really engage, really push it down. 3, 2, 1, release. Good, release, settle in, and we're gonna go deeper into that stretch, okay? Dropping down. As you're doing this, if you start feeling like it's opening up and you're getting some other tension points in other areas, that's actually a good sign because it means you're releasing this and the other areas that need attention are starting to call out to you. So like for example, as I'm doing this, I'm feeling my adductor, my groin in here quite a lot, and we're not quite stretching it, but I just feel the tension in there. And so what that's telling me is that as I'm relieving this, I'm starting to feel the next bottleneck. And the next bottleneck for me is in the groin. And And that's good. It just means that you're relieving this and opening it up, helping to relieve some of that tension. And as you do that, you know, you're going to peel the onion back, and then there will be another layer, and we'll find that next layer, work through it, right? So here we're continuing to work through here, okay? Breathe. Good. Okay, again, we're going to drive the ground away. Okay, so we're driving this knee down into the ground. Okay, we're going to start now. Okay, 7, 6, 5. Hold it, contract, contract. 2 and 1. Release. Release and slowly move through. We're going to drive down a little deeper. Settle into this, working it down, and see how much further you're able to go, you know, with each round here as we start providing a little bit more activation. And one of the reasons why doing the active the active stretching, where we actually are engaging the muscle that we're stretching, is that one of the main reasons that muscles stay contracted is simply like a nervous system response. So as the muscle isn't releasing because of a nervous system issue, and you would be surprised how much things in your body are related to the nervous system. I mean, that might sound like an obvious or a silly statement, but so much of like what we might ascribe to something else is actually being done by the nervous system. And so if we learn how to work with it on a deeper level, which is the nervous system, which is, you know, kind of the circuit board, you know, the calling the shots, everything, right? So if that decision maker isn't properly aligned, or if they're not getting the right feedback or whatever it might be, then we might not get proper instructions to that part of the body. So in the case of one of these muscles, you know, we might be staying locked up or staying tense because the nervous system is just communicating that we need to stay tense. And so part of the time, a lot of it is just communicating to yourself, and you can do that biologically through, you know, like anatomically here. I'm just moving them around as I'm talking to you here. I'm just kind of moving this leg around a little bit because I want to get some more blood flow through this leg. I'm feeling like it's kind of going a little bit numb, so I just want to move it around a little bit. So if you want to open up your hips and kind of move them around as you're doing this, that's cool too, because we want to kind of keep the blood flowing through here. Otherwise it can get uncomfortable. I'm going to remove these pillows and block. Get back down to the ground. Okay, so what that active element of the stretch, engaging the muscle, part of it is kind of just saying to the muscle, like, now we engage and now we don't. So I'm going to engage and then I'm going to relax, and I'm going to engage and then I'm going to relax. And it's like a reinforcement pattern telling when to engage and when to chill out, you know, and that's really, really important, and obviously can be an analogy for us in other areas of life. You know, when something is out of your control and when you need to be contracted and when you need to be relaxed. I find jiu-jitsu is probably one of the better examples of that. Being able to know how and when to use your energy is a skill. It's a serious skill set that is it's not a small thing. You know, you'll get some really strong guys coming into the gym, strong guys, and and they don't know how to use their energy. And so it's actually a liability against them, because the more energy they have, the more I can use it against them, right? Okay, so we're going to go again into this active element. So we're pushing the ground down. I'm driving my knee into the ground. This is the last one on this side, okay? Driving my knee down into the ground, okay? Holding it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Release. And we're gonna back down. Communicate to your system it's okay to relax. Might be a little uncomfortable at this point. We've been in this position for a little while. We're going to come out of it here shortly. But now you can tell your system it's okay to relax and explore a little deeper, and tell it to chill out a little bit. I don't know about you. I run a little bit hot, a little bit hard, a little bit, I'm a little bit of a, I don't know if frenetic is the right word, but I'm very high energy. And so for me, calming down is kind of a process that I need to unwind myself sometimes. One more moment. Communicate to that system down there. Tell it, literally internally, you can just tell it like, it's okay, we're chilling out now. We're chilling out. We're stretching it out. We're relieving some tension. We're creating some activation in those deeper places, which creates stability. So if I'm just flexible, but I have no tension, tension's not bad, right? There's this constant balance between tension and relaxation. Okay, we're going to come out of it. Nice and slow. Nice and slow. We're going to come out and just sit straight ahead here. Kind of move your feet around here. Get the blood back flowing. Left leg needed some more blood. The way I think about the system is it's like this switchboard. It's almost like this mixing set. Like I imagine like a producer in a studio, and they have like all of these dials and sets and, you know, modules in front of them, or like a pilot in a cockpit, and they have all of these things, and it's this constant balance between turning this one up and turning this one down and turning this one to the right and turning this one to the left, and like working through that system. And it's a constant process. I'm just still letting the blood flow back into this leg a little bit. And like, for example, just being extremely flexible is one side of the spectrum. And if you're just super flexible, but you don't have any strength, like if I can bring my foot over back of my head, but like I can pop my hip out of its socket and like bring it back there and tie myself in a knot, like that's cool, I guess, but it's really not very functional because, you know, there's no strength to support it. So if I put you back into that position, you're never going to get out of it. There's no way, because you don't have the strength to bring yourself out of it. But if I have a certain amount of strength to flexibility and strength in those deeper positions, then my hip's not going to pop out of its socket, and I can bring it back there in a controlled capacity, and then also bring it back forward, even under load and under stress. And so it's this constant balance between tension and stretch and finding the harmony. It's really like a spectrum. We're trying to find this like sweet spot in the middle between ability to stretch and relieve tension and be stretchy, but also this ability to be tense and hold a load and be able to be strong and capable. And there's this constant management, you know, and so we don't want to just be one or just be the other. We're looking for that sweet spot. All right, so let's switch to the other side. Okay, so now we're going right leg. We're switching the 90-90. Yes, that was only one half of the equation. This is why it's so hard, because sometimes it just takes time to like sit here and actually stretch, you know. Okay, so you're probably going to feel quite different on this side, all right? For one, we did one half, and so part of your body is like stretched out and part of it's not. But also, just on a physical level, usually always, you know, one side of our body is going to be different than the other. So now we're going to this left quad here. Okay, so just a reminder, we're in this 90-90, feet are 90-90. This left foot is behind us. You can take it here by bringing it back behind you like this, all right? And this knee's on the ground, foot's on the ground, this right foot's on the ground, knee's on the ground in front of you, okay? And we're going to push this. You can bring this foot a little further back if you want. If you want to bring it closer to your butt, you can. No problem with that. It's called 90-90, but it doesn't need to be a literal 90-90. Okay, whatever is good for you here. So we're going to lift that hip up, squeeze that left glute, and open that up here. Create more tension into this quad, this left quad, and we're going to stretch that. Let's hold that, find your position, and let's get into this stretch. Nice big posture here. Let's keep the breath nice and steady and smooth. This feels pretty good here, particularly just because we stretched this left glute and outside of the quad. Now we're getting this front side of the quad. It feels pretty nice. I'm just going to readjust, make some small adjustments for myself. Feel free to do the same however you feel is necessary and relevant. Okay, I'm going to move back and forth a little bit, and that's all right. Okay, so now we're going to do the active element here. We're going to push the ground away, do that leg extension on the left side, okay, holding it for 7 seconds. Okay, so whenever you are ready here, we're going to go into it. Okay, go for it. Okay, driving the ground away, creating tension in this left side here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Again, go ahead and use your props how you need to. I'm just going to put this block under my elbow here. Again, we're trying to communicate to our system here that like we can relax. Okay, and I'm going to readjust here. I'm actually going to, what I just did is instead of being engaged and lifted here in this glute, I'm bringing my hip down to the ground, but then in order to really tap into this stretch, I'm going to have to bring my leg a little further back. So I'm lowering that left hip down a little bit more, down to the ground. I'm not engaging that back glute and dragging that foot a little further back. And that's going to open it up more on the inside, hit the groin a bit more, the adductors. All right. Good. Big time stretch. Find the peace in this place and position because it can be kind of intense. We want to just allow the body to work through whatever it's working through. This is the necessary maintenance. You can go hard. I'm all about going hard, but in order to continue going hard, you have to have maintenance routines in your calendar. Stretching, mobility, taking care of the muscles, the joints, the tendons, the ligaments. You know, otherwise you're going to break something. I'm all for going hard. I love going hard. That's why sometimes it's so hard to slow it down. It's one of the biggest challenges. Slowing it down. Breathing, continuing with the breath. Moving around a little bit in here. like I said before, feel free to do whatever feels good for you. Okay, again, we're going to drive the ground away, all right? Okay, so go ahead and start. We're going to hit that leg extension on the left side, create tension here, driving the ground away. Big time, big time. Good. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Oh yeah, got a good crack there. You'll probably feel your body opening up in different ways here at this point, and that's good. Go with the flow. Can't always push. I'm a pusher, you know, I definitely like to push hard, but sometimes I gotta go with the flow. Yesterday I had to take a day off and just be sick. I didn't do a damn thing. I just laid in bed all day. I felt like a jackass because I didn't do anything. And just laid around. Just literally didn't do anything. Was sick, had a migraine, fever, swollen throat. So today I'm not going to push it, you know, and my body needs this type of maintenance anyways. And so, you know, sometimes like it's not valuable for you to stress and push yourself too much because you're going to break something. Like I know for a fact, if I push until my ski trip as much as I can, like I'll straight up, I hit a PR in the gym the other day. I'm hitting PRs because I'm climbing in my strength routine right now. So I'm building up my strength. So I'm continually hitting PRs, which is great in terms of everything. Squats, upper body, lower body, bench press, which is all cool. But if it's not balanced out, I know for a fact I will injure myself. Like guaranteed. I have zero doubt about the fact that I will injure myself. I would injure myself if I would continue in that capacity. So it's really the work is in learning how to keep working and work intelligently and work with a longer time horizon in mind. You know, I want to be in the game because I'm going to continue to make better gains and better returns if I like only do like 1 or 2 really intense lifting days a week right now and do all my other stuff throughout the week, which is like training other people and being very active in other ways and doing jiu-jitsu and making these videos. I don't need so many intense days in the gym, and that's just kind of the season I'm in. But at the same time, I'm still continuing to climb in my PRs. And so hopefully my point in, you know, opening this up is just, it's like, listen to your system. And like for me right now, it's a process of like learning how to balance that intensity and push and how much volume I'm doing with that intensity and push with how much recovery work I'm doing, which this is like recovery work, how much recovery I'm doing in conjunction with all of the other things that I'm doing, and just learning how to put my week and month together in regards to all of that. So it's you know, listen to your system. You might want to lift hard every single day, you know what I mean? But you'd get injured if you do that. And the reality of it is you got to listen to your system and trust yourself, and also be a little bit skeptical of yourself, because sometimes your body will try to cheat you out in some ways, or your mind will try to cheat you out in some ways. So sometimes you got to question yourself a little bit. Am I really pushing it too much? Am I really but then you got to listen to the real feedback that comes in. So the other week I went into the gym and I did some squats and it was great, felt good. After I did like a week worth of recovery work, I was feeling good enough to go in and do squats. So I did them, and then my knee started feeling all like finicky again. And so I'm like, okay, I got to make sure I'm continuing to do that recovery work, and also really laser in about what needs strengthening specifically, and doing some of that more precision work. Okay, so let's go into one more here. We're going to engage here with the foot, drive down, do that leg extension. Okay, drive this away, active through here. And create that tension and hold it, breathe, good posture. 3, 2, 1, and release. Settle in here and we'll transition in a moment. So like I was saying, I'm just sharing this so that again, this is all for you. It's a stimulus for you guys to kind of zoom in on your own process in life and what's going on, and try to modulate it in the right ways for you. You know, sometimes there are seasons where you just need to push hard and go hard, and there are seasons like that. And then there are some seasons where you need to dial it back and recover. And there are some times where, you know, it's a little bit of both. Right now for me, it's like a little bit of both. I am pushing hard and I need to know how to maintain a pace, a rhythm, but a fast rhythm, but I also need to learn how to maintain a rhythm and a pace. I talk about that with my clients sometimes as we're working out. There's a pacing, a rhythm. It's like if you're running a marathon, you know, you're not gonna, like you see those videos where the guys run the marathons and the guy will sprint. He sprints out of the gate and he passes everybody. He's like, losers, you know, he passes everybody. And then like 3 miles in, he's like vomiting on the side. Everybody's passing him, you know, because he didn't have any pacing, you know. And the best marathon runners are running a consistent, steady, fast pace that is hard to do. Maybe not for a single mile, but for 26 miles is extremely challenging. So, you know, a lot of people could run a sub 6 minute mile, but to do that over the course of 26 miles is a whole different story. So it's a matter of creating that pacing for yourself and finding the right balance. So, okay, so let's come out of this here, okay? Just move around again. If you need to shift around, kind of open it up, get some blood flow through here. All right, shift the hips around. We're gonna shift back and forth. Same thing we did on the last side. We're gonna shift back and forth, rocking between our hips, okay? Kind of opening, turning hips, opening, turning. Back and forth we go. Getting some blood back into this left leg. Good. All right, now we're gonna bring this left foot up like this, okay? Same thing we did on the last side. All right, I'm gonna do it for a set of 10. Okay, so go ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. I don't know about you, but that one cramped way less on this side. That might just be because of my body disposition, but I think also because we already stretched this side. So it was cramping way less than when I did it on this side. So now we're about to hit this side on the stretch. So we're gonna, again, turn this left side of our body, so left hip, oblique, shoulder, over towards the right. Okay, so we're kind of lifting that hip up, turning it over towards the right. Again, if you need a block or anything under this hip, and under this knee. If that knee is not coming all the way down, you know, putting those pillows under the knee is really good for that. Okay, pillows are a block. Okay, and we're gonna just take this left side of our body, all right, and turn it over towards our shin here and try to square it up with our shin. All right, nice and gentle and slow. You might have like a couple of like sticky points, you know, and so I just want you to slowly work down towards this position. And so as you square up and face that shin, now we're just going to start to lower our whole body, and we're going to try to lower it from like almost like from our hip down, like as if we're like hinging down, like I'm hinging down to the ground here, as opposed to just being here and then like dropping the head. I'm trying to lower almost like the entire body down. And when you do that, you're going to run into a wall at some point, and that's that stretch that we're looking for. So let's just go into that here, hang out here. This is where that weight kind of comes in. You can grip and pull a little bit. Good. Keep that breath going. Nice and steady and smooth. Good pacing here. Nice deep stretch session today. Very good. Oh, that's tight on this side. Do any little adjustments you might need. Make sure we're keeping the posture nice and solid. Breathing nice and slow, working down into that outside line of the quad and the glute on the right hand side. Very good. And again, this is all about communicating to that nervous system, saying, hey, we can go into a deep place and have the right amount of tension. And so it's like this energy bar of like, where do I deliver my energy to and when and how, you know? Because otherwise it's just inefficient if we're constantly dropping energy, you know, into the system without needing to. It's just a waste of energy, right? So again, like in jiu-jitsu, like there are times where I just don't want to be using energy. It's just a waste of energy to be sitting there tense or like using muscles that I just don't need to. I'll just burn out. I'm going to waste my energy and burn out, tire out. My grip will tire out. And then I'm fried, and now he's going to submit me no problem because I just used all my energy for no reason. So I want to conserve energy and then wait to the right moments where I see that I have a little bit more leverage in the situation, and then go ahead and use my energy, right? So in a situation like this, for example, like I want to have the right amount of tension, let's say, right? I want to have the right amount of tension in the system, but I don't want to just be completely tense or completely relaxed, right? We're going to find that balance between the tension. So one really good way of doing that is to say, like, I'm going to hold myself up here like this. Now you're going to pretty much fire this glute. It might squeeze real hard and cramp up. Like I can feel mine like getting close to a cramp situation. So this can be a hard position to hold in this position. But we're going to come here and come up like this and then lean down. And now it's like, oh, what am I doing? I'm driving this knee down, right? Which is like our stretch here. We're engaging that glute outside quad quad line running down this right leg, right? I'm driving this into the ground and I'm supporting myself up. And now as I come down into this stretch, it's a really active stretch. And this is where we start to work into active, dynamic stretch positions where our body says, I'm gonna both stretch and hold tension. And that's a really interesting place to be because it's extremely useful. It's extremely useful, okay? That's just an example there. You can play around with that if you want. Okay, but we're gonna go into the active element here. So we're driving the ground away. Okay, so we're driving the ground down with that knee. We're pushing into the ground with our knee, okay? Holding it. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Okay. Squaring up towards that shin, leaning down. And if you want to play around with this hold position here, you can do that. Okay. I'm going to lean forward into this stretch. A little bit more supported. I'm going to have my hands on the ground. Breathing. Working our way down. Very good. Letting it open up. If you get knee problems, a lot of the times it's because we have weak or overly tight muscles, or we have some physical movement patterns that are loading the knee really hard. Or as I mentioned, it'll be because we have some muscles that are too tight and it's like that guitar string that's strung too tight. And the end of the guitar string is like that knob where you adjust how tight it is. So that's like your knee, except you don't adjust how tight it is in your knee, but it's like the anchor point. And that anchor point lives in the knee. So the knee, the tendon goes into the bone and straps on. That's an anchor point, right? And then the tendon morphs into the muscle, and if that muscle, which is like the guitar string, is too tight, then you're going to feel it in the anchor point. Okay, so if you have a lot of knee pain or joint pain, you might feel it in the knee, but the solution isn't in the knee itself. The knee is just a symptom or a canary in the coal mine. It's just telling you what's going on. Almost every single time, if there's knee pain or joint pain, it's not going to come from solving that actual joint. Like, you don't fix knee pain by dealing with the knee. The knee is just a manifestation of everything that creates it. It's all of the muscles in the shin, the calf, the soleus muscle, the anterior tibialis muscle on the front side, all of the tendons, the ligaments, the ankle, whether it's collapsed, it has a good structure or not, and how that is influencing the knee and where the pressure is being driven and how, you're loading into your joints and all of these things. Like, eventually you're just, the knee is just receiving. It's just it's a receptacle. It's just receiving. And so if you're not feeding it the right things, then it might be telling you that it's not doing well, but it comes from what you're feeding it, not from the thing itself. You can't change it there's nothing to change in the knee itself. It's like in marketing or in business, they say, what are the leading factors that are creating this thing? It's like, I want more subscribers on my YouTube channel. Okay, Well, you don't just magically get more subscribers. Like, if I don't have a lot of subscribers, or if my view counts are low, or whatever it might be, that's just a symptom. That's just giving you information. You can't solve that locally. There's nothing to do. The only thing to do is to affect the leading contributors towards that thing. So it's like making higher quality videos, making more videos, all of that stuff then results in subscriber count or viewership, retention, all of that stuff. So same thing with your muscles and joints and posture and everything like that. So, all right, so let's go drive down again. Okay, we're pushing down into the ground here with the knee. Okay, driving it down, driving it down, driving it down, driving it down. Good. Hold it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release. Coming forward here. Good work, guys. Good work. Keep it up. We're almost done. Almost done. Very good job. Good. Okay, slowly coming out of it. Oh, nice and slow. Okay, let's again straighten up. Gonna bounce around, get the blood back in. I'm gonna shake my hips here, bounce my legs. The blood flowing back into my legs here. Balance, a little bouncy stretch. Oh. Very good. Okay. Now we're gonna do one more stretch. Okay, before we call it a day. This is kind of a long video, but that's okay. Hopefully somebody's getting some value out of it. Now, this is where I love using this weight for this stretch here, okay? So I'm bringing my feet out wide, all right? This is like this forward fold, straddled position here, all right? All right, I don't think my feet are in the shot all the way, but I'm spreading my feet out wide, right? As much as is comfortable, you know, without overdoing it too much here. And this is, if you're not feeling it, or if you haven't gotten there, you should be feeling it. This is definitely a groin, adductor, groin, hamstring stretch, okay? Now, the reason I love this weight here, and it's really good to have like a sizable weight, but it's okay if you don't have a sizable weight. Even smaller weights are really nice for this, is that without this, I just find it's a little hard to like really get into the stretch. Like my body weight alone, my upper body weight is not really enough. So I like having some sort of anchor position for me that's gonna, ooh, bam, lock me into this stretch. So what I want to do is I want to keep my feet, it's hard for me, you guys can't see it in the video, but I'm going to keep them flexed like this, okay? So that's going to create the most amount of tension. It also helps kind of keep the knees nice and safe here. So feel into it. So I'm keeping my feet flexed like this dorsiflex position. Okay, I'm coming out nice and wide. If you don't do it, you'll feel it kind of pulls into your knees a little bit. So I wanna shorten that up. You'll feel it kind of shortens it up here. And even though it like lengthens the posterior side, it shortens up the top side, which allows, you know, those knees to kind of settle in. So, and we're gonna settle in and we're just gonna drop down. And now we wanna do the same type of thing. We don't wanna just like kind of slouch our head and fall forward here. We wanna be nice and strong and tall in the back, and we're gonna just shift forward, almost like we're hinging forward here. All right, I'm gonna find this nice position wherever I'm good here, and I'm gonna shift it forward. This is an intense one, and for me personally, this one is quite tight. Okay, so I'm shifting this forward and trying to feel into this. I'm just gonna use this weight however makes sense for me. Sometimes I'm gonna drop it back, sometimes I'm gonna pull it a little harder. Sometimes the knees can like, you're putting a lot of tension into the knees here, so sometimes I like dialing it back a little bit by just closing the legs or moving them around. Sometimes shifting my hips a little bit further back here, putting myself into an anterior tilt in the hips. Okay, kind of like pushing my butt back, all right? And settling in here and letting myself just come down over top of this weight, using the weight to help me get there. If you don't have a weight, you can set up, the beauty about a video is that you can always pause it and go back. So if you don't have a weight, you can set up like at the corner of a couch or like an anchor point somewhere, like something heavy that's not going to move. A corner of a couch is good because you can like straddle it basically. Or like a corner of, some sort of like heavy object that you can sit nearby and use as an anchor for yourself, right? So just allowing yourself to work into that position, and something like, I don't even need a lot, but I just need it to be solid. So it's like I'm barely putting any like pressure into this, but it's just enough that it's really helping me lean into this, which is what I want. So I'm here and working through this. Okay, so now we're gonna do the same thing. Now, what I'm gonna do in the active sense here is I'm gonna try to like drive my legs down and in a little bit. That in is gonna be the adductor groin, the down is gonna be the hamstring. So I'm trying to like almost pinch my feet. You can imagine I'm trying to like pinch my feet in like this, okay? We're gonna do that, we're gonna hold that for 7 seconds, okay? So starting now, squeezing my feet down. Imagine I'm like trying to drag my heels towards each other. Down and in. 3, 2, 1. Release. And again, like you might feel small amounts of pain in that position, okay, in different parts. Some of you guys might feel it in your back. Some of you guys might feel it in your knees. Like for me there, I know that I have a tight adductor on this left side, and I was feeling it into my knee a bit here on this inner side where the adductor comes in and connects with the knee. So, you just want to be gentle and sensitive with it. You don't want to push it too hard, right? So it's all about helping that muscle group and not about breaking yourself. So that's the name of the game. That's the name of the game. So if it's too much, you can always drop it back a little bit. Letting it open up, and sometimes forcing something to open up doesn't really work so well. But if you like slow cook it, then you can really get it to open up. Stick it in the crock pot, Cook them down nice and slow. Working forward here, hanging out. Can do little things like shift your hips back and forth, kind of lean into the right side, lean into the left side, rock back and forth. Again, theme, gentle, not overly pulling anything. We don't need to rip anything off a bone here. We're just trying to work into it. You're gonna feel a lot of tension. resetting, readjusting when you need to. Well, that's good for me right here, this position. Like I said earlier, I want you to find the spots that are good for you. So I just found a spot that's really good for me, so I'm going to spend a little bit more time there, right? I don't know about you, but I'm definitely feeling like it's opening up a bit more. I've got a little bit more reach now forward. I can come forward a bit more here. I'm trying to push my hips back and straighten my back. Being gentle on the knees, nice and slowly, just working my way down, not in a rush. Good. All right, so we're going to come out of this position now because sometimes this can really pull in on those knees, and we just want to be gentle again with that. So there's some other stretches that we can do that are a little less intense on the knees. This stretch is a little bit intense. It puts a lot of tension into them. So I'm going to bring it out, okay? Nice and slow. Being gentle. Theme of today is gentle. Nice and slow, coming out of it. Just moving how you need to move. Doing the little things that feel good for you. And I'm just going to come up into this bridge pose. You can go ahead and follow along with me here if you want. I'm flipping around so I can be in the full shot, but I'm putting my hands behind me, fingers facing back, okay? My feet in front of me, and I'm going to just lift up my heels, bridge pose here. Lift up through my heels. I'm lifting my hips. I'm going to drive into my heels, and I'm going to try to have a nice full shoulder position. Okay, I don't want to be slacked. I'm going to be nice and full, and I'm lifting my hips up, creating a nice straight tabletop position here. Shift around a little bit. Coming down, butt to the ground, coming up. Do this a couple times. Trying to get equal squeeze in the glutes. Sometimes one will dominate, so try to feel into both glutes. I know my right one likes to dominate, so I'm trying to get the left one to squeeze a little bit more here. More activation, equal activation. Two more. Good. Coming down. Okay. Very good. And that's going to do it for today. Okay, guys, there's more to do. I'm going to probably make another video about some other things here, but to keep it nice and tight today, even though it was a little bit long, this is great, really good, very important work to do, extremely important maintenance work, as I mentioned throughout the video. So if this was great for you guys, if you got a lot of value out of it, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing the love. Hopefully this can help some other folks out there, you know, for all the people who are tight and wound up, which I think is the majority of folks nowadays. Hopefully this can help them. And by liking and subscribing it, it just really enables other folks to get access to it, because otherwise it just stays hidden in the interwebs and people can't find it. So if you got value out of this, I would be very appreciative if you could like and subscribe. That way other folks out there who could get value out of it as well would get value out of it. So you can feel good about liking and subscribing it, because you know that it'll help other people as well. And that's really the goal of this channel, is to help so many folks. I can only work with so many people one-on-one throughout the day. As a trainer, I work with a bunch of folks throughout the day. My days are filled with sessions, but there's only so many people I can work with, and I know that a lot of people need the work. So hopefully we can get some reach and scale this up through, enabling and helping lots of people feel comfortable and feel strong in their bodies, because that's really what it's all about. It's about being able to have the longevity to do what you want to do, to feel enabled, to feel like you can play with your kids, your grandkids, like you're not some old fart by the time you turn 30 and feel like you're a liability. Your body's going to break every time you pick things up. I have a lot of amazing stories from my clients, thank God, of them having super sensitive backs and knees and things that would be, dangerous for them to do. And now all of a sudden they're doing yard work and they're cleaning up and they're making over their house and they're redoing things, they're renovating stuff and they're lifting things, and and they feel confident in their bodies, and it's like a big game changer, and it changes the whole dynamic of the family, because now their dad is all active and feeling good and has energy, and it's a really big game changer. If not for you, then do it for your kids, because or for your family, your loved ones, your wife, your husband, whoever. And, it's really important to keep yourself nice and strong for the people around you, for those who depend on you, right? So that's it for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed. And if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments and I'll respond to them. Okay? Peace out. Have a great day. Love ya. Cheers.